Everything is coming together exactly as I planned.
How awesome was that, fellas? How'd you like that? Came out according to plan. Welcome, everybody, to Tone Priest Pedal of the Month, number 26. What we do here every month is we build a bitchin' guitar effects pedal. We see what makes it tick, we play with it a little bit, and then we give it away for absolutely free to one of my Patreon supporters. If that interests you, head on over to patreon.com/tonepriest, sign up, support the channel. You'll be entered to win the drawing for this honey right here. Holy smokes, how awesome is this thing? The Red Dead Redeemer. Holy smokes. All right, let's find out all about it. Here we go. All right, so most of my time that is not spent at the day job is spent tinkering and building and creating these things. But every once in a while, I got to kick back and relax, and I've played a little bit of Red Dead Redemption.
You're introducing him to your other passion. I'll mind you to show me some respect, Mr. Morgan.
2. And I've always loved the music, the soundtrack of the album, and in particular that load screen theme that we covered there in the beginning of the video. And a little while back, the, what's his name there, the JHS Pedals guy, Josh Todd?
Crazy bitch, sucking that dick, put it between your big old tits. Oh!
No, not Josh Todd, Josh Scott.
Oh, it's a big tease. Okay.
It's easy to confuse the two. He put out a video on how to make music for like the Red Dead Redemption soundtrack and like Ennio Morricone style music, and I really liked that. And while I was playing Red Dead Redemption one day, a little light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, what if we built a super duper pedal to make Western style outlaw Wild West music? And came out according to plan.
This is all going to plan.
Here it is. All right, so what is it? We have 3 pedals in one here. And thanks again to JHS Pedals for that video, because that really helped inspire this. What we have here is, this is 3 pedals in one. The first pedal is a clone of a JHS Superbolt / Taco Bolt. And all a Taco Bolt is a Superbolt with one of the JFETs being starved of voltage, and you can flip between the 2 modes with that switch right there. And this was the biggest surprise of the whole build. This is a kick-ass overdrive pedal. One of my favorites, like instant favorites. The second one is a tremolo pedal. This is a shoot the moon or a moonshot tremolo. And this is the perfect tremolo. It's got everything you need, nothing you don't need. It sounds great. It's super versatile. Love this pedal. And last but not least is a clone of the Earthquaker Devices Underneath Reverb pedal. Now I know it says delay right there, but I don't know, we had a little brain fart and we gooched it. Technically it is kind of a delay, that's all a reverb is. It's a lot of really short delay, but it's reverb. You get the idea. It sounds awesome, so just quit bitching. And that's what this is. Alright, let's play with the knob, see what it sounds like. Alright, hang tight, here we go. Alright, fellas, here we are. We are all plugged in. We are all hooked up. We're going through my normal setup for demonstrations, which is the Tone Priest Prince of Darkness amp going into a Univox 2x12 with a, we got the Celestion Greenback Modern Production close mic, and then we have a little condenser mic as a room mic as well. So that's that. Alright, so we have the Red Dead Redeemer here, and as mentioned before, we have 3 pedals in one. We have the clone of the JHS Super Bolt / Taco Bolt, and you switch between the modes with that switch right there. And this has your usual setup here. You have volume, you got drive, we got tone, and we also have this gain switch here, which surprisingly increases the gain. You see that? This wire's in the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Pedal 2, or section 2, is a moonshot tremolo, or shoot the moon tremolo. Forget what it's called. And it does tremolo. And this is a great tremolo pedal. You couldn't ask for any more. Speed, depth, gain. And we'll talk a little bit more about this gain later for you builders out there. I have some tips on how to... if you want to build your own, just some tips about the LDR and the LED used. And then we have the wave, which is really nice. This is what makes this tremolo pedal perfect. If you have it all the way in counterclockwise, you get a square wave. And if you have it all the way clockwise, you get a sine wave. And you can put it anywhere in between. So why don't we start here, and I'll show you what this does. We'll start with the square wave. So what that does is the guitar signal is either on or it's off, and that's how you get your tremolo. Now if we turn it all the way in the other direction, we get the sine wave, and it's a more smooth, here the camera's over here, more smooth. There you go, there you have it. And last but certainly not least is the clone of the Earthquaker Devices Underneath. And I know it says delay here, but it's a reverb. And this thing, the knobs do what the knobs do. This pedal does a lot of things. One thing it does not do is subtlety. So you'll probably be keeping the mix down low. And everything else, you're just going to play with it, because who knows what the hell all they do. Alright, let's put the mix down in a more agreeable place here. All right, we're kind of going out of order here. Oops. Pick. We need a pick. Need a new pick. Okay. So the my biggest surprise on this build was the JHS Super Bolt / Taco Bolt. The JHS Super Bolt was a pedal that Josh made to make your guitar sound like it was being played through a vintage Supro amplifier. And the Taco Bolt was a quote-unquote defective one with JFETs that weren't biased correctly. If you'd like to build your own or build any of these three projects yourself, you can get PCB boards from pedalpcb.com. No affiliation, but they're welcome to send me a check in the mail anytime they'd like.
We get some money and get the hell out of there. That's the plan.
What a great overdrive pedal this thing is. It's amazing. Bias in the up position, so we're in Super Bolt mode, which is the plain mode, the original mode. It's hard to talk today. Let's turn the gain or the drive down, and we'll engage the gain switch, so that'll kick it up a little bit. Yeehaw! All right, so the bias switch here, what this does is it flips between the Super Bolt mode and the Taco Bolt mode. And after this little demo, we're going to talk about the LDR and LED of the Tremolo, and we will also talk about the bias and what it's doing and how you can play with it. But what this does is it starves one of the JFETs in the circuit of voltage, and without getting too technical, what that does is it makes it sound kind of cool. And you'll have to play with your volume knob to get it right on the line of having the sound choke out. Basically what's happening is the JFET's not conducting because it doesn't have enough voltage to, you know, break thresholds and stuff, and so the guitar signal kind of chokes out. Put it in regular gain mode. So it actually kind of mimics the sound of an old, like, germanium fuzz pedal a little bit with that Velcro and zipper kind of thing. Alright, one other thing I added is when we did the slide on that song, we used a little bit of delay to get that real dreamy sound. And what I did is I added an effect send, which is after the Super Bolt and the Tremolo, and then you got 2 extra jacks here. We sent it out to a delay pedal, and this is a clone of an Ibanez Sound Tank delay. It's pretty cool. Sounds great. When you just need plain Jane delay, boom. Here's your pedal right there. Anyway, effects send out to that, and then return back into the pedal, and that is between the Tremolo and the Reverb. And that's how we got that nice dreamy slide sound. I don't know where my slide is, so we're gonna do without. All right, let's go inside the guts of this device. Ooh, look at that. Holy smokes, Tone Priest. We were just in here working yesterday, so some of these wires, the lead dress may have been changed a little bit, and we'll talk about that in a second. All right, this is the Super Bolt / Taco Bolt. This is the Tremolo. This is the afterneath, or underneath, afterneath. We got it right the first time. All right, so let's talk about the Super Bolt / Taco Bolt. Let me get Mr. Pointer. So as you can see here, hopefully as you can see, let me set that up a little nicer. Get the lighting perfect. Can you see all that? Oh, there we go. Can you see that? All right, we have 3 sets of trimmers. We got these 2, we've got these 2, and then we have these 2. And we have 3 bias test points, 1, 2, and 3. And what this is to do is to bias your 3 J201 JFETs. And the trimmer on the left for each one is when the switch is in the down position. And the trimmer on the right for each one is when the switch is in the up position. And we'll demonstrate that right now. Switch is in the up position. All right, so we have our multimeter in DC voltage checking mode. We have our ground clamp connected to ground. We've got ourselves a little screwdriver to change the trimmer. The switch is in the up position, so we are affecting the 3 trimmers on the right affect the bias voltage. So we'll put our other probe on bias point number 1. Helps if we plug the pedal in. Moron. All right, so we can check our input voltage at this diode right here. And this chip right here is a voltage doubler, so we're taking our 9 volts and doubling it to 18 volts, but we're actually pushing out 17.26 volts. So for the switch in the up position, I just wanted each JFET to be biased at half of the VCC. So half of whatever that is. Get your calculator out. And if we check the bias point 1, 8.6. And we can just turn the trimmer. And we can change that. We can set our bias to wherever we want. So we'll put it back to 8.6. Now, if we put the switch in the down position, like so, this is the Taco Bolt mode, where the 3rd JFET is being starved of voltage. These are readings from people that have actual JHS units. These are the bias readings. As you can see, the 3rd JFET is like at 0.8 or 0.66 volts. So it is being starved. And if we check ours, we have biased ours to 0.74 volts. So that's what that does. And you can have fun, you can experiment and put them anywhere you want, and, you know, whatever sound you like, then, yeah, that's good, I guess. What else is there to say?
We're free to plan our own futures.
All right, finally, over here on our Moonshot Tremolo, hopefully you can see this, the way I have the LED and the LDR set up. On the left here is the LDR, and on the right we obviously have an LED. What this does, the way this works is, in LDR, a light-dependent resistor, works just like a regular resistor, except the more light that shines on it, the less resistance it presents. So the brighter light, less resistance. And the LDR is in the path of the audio signal. And it basically, when the LED is off, it is dark, it presents more resistance, you get less volume on the guitar signal. And so the LED gets bright, resistance goes down, and more guitar signal can pass through the circuit. And because the light is fluctuating, that's how we get our tremolo. And I did a little rework yesterday because when I originally put this together, I used a diffused 3mm red LED. So that's one of those LEDs that's, you know, the outside shell is colored red. We have a clear one in there now. And the LED, I originally had it straight down into the board, and the face of the LDR pointed at the side of the LED. And I was not getting enough volume, so the LDR was not getting enough light. So we went back, we removed that diffused LED, and we replaced it with this clear lens one. And we kind of aimed it at the LDR, so it's getting, you know, as much light as possible onto it. And this works much, much better. This isn't the prettiest thing in the world. If I was doing it from scratch again, I would install them and solder them in a little prettier fashion. But with this setup, with the clear LED, right about there is unity gain. And so you have all this range to actually act like a boost. All right. And before, when I had the diffused red LED in there, even when it was all the way up, there was, you know, a little bit of a cut in volume when you engage the tremolo pedal. So if you're building your own, there you go. That's how you do it. All right. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Let's wrap this sucker up. Well, there you go. There you have it. How awesome is this thing? This quite possibly could be the best thing I've ever done. And if you want to win this pedal, let me check the calendar here. The drawing is tentatively scheduled for Saturday, October 4th, 2025. So you might have some time, depends on when you're watching this video, to go over to patreon.com/tonepriest, support the channel. You will be entered into the drawing for this pedal. If you want to buy one of these pedals, which you should, everybody should want to buy this thing because it's friggin' amazing. Email's in the description. Hit me up. We'll talk. And it can be cheap, and it's going to take at least 2 months to put together. You know, I don't take down payments for pedals and then build them, because it would be very unfortunate if people sent me money for stuff that I hadn't already built, and for whatever reason I couldn't build it. That would be very unfortunate for somebody to get into that predicament. So we would never do that. But hit me up. You know, if you're interested, I'll put one together. And when it's all finished, you'll have the first right of refusal. If not, then I'll have another one kicking around the house. Because this one we're giving away, and hopefully you will win this one. All right, that's all we got. Rock on and prosper. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Done.
Stick to the plan, Arthur.